Hi everybody, my name is Erin and today I wanted to talk to you about anger and hate. Why do I want to talk about this? Because anger and hate show up in every relationship. They show up in our relationship to the news, they show up in relationship to all sorts of things. And anger and hate do not make you bad or evil, which is often what we're taught to think about anger and hate. Anger and hate make you wise. What? Nobody's told me that anger and hate make me wise. Maybe hate not so much, but anger certainly. And I want to tell you why. The only time anger will ever show up in your system is when you've been violated in some way. What? I've never been violated. We have these images of violations being these magnificent, horrid events. But think about when somebody says a meeting is supposed to last an hour, and they're on like an hour and 15 minutes, and you're getting all angsty. That's anger. That's a violation of the expectation. That's somebody taking more than they said they would take from you. Time is our most valuable asset. Our body, our nervous systems, we know this about time. We know we only have so much time. So when somebody takes more time without permission, that's a massive violation. And what we usually do is we be polite, we suppress that, we hide that, we stuff it. And then we go home and we start yelling to our partners about, you won't believe freaking so-and-so went over again. He can never organize himself. I'm so angry. I'm so sick of this, That's your right. But what is more productive, and this is why you get to become a really wise person with anger, is if you listen to that at the beginning and you said, hey, check it out. I am aware, this is in the meeting, that this meeting was supposed to end at this time and we're currently going over. Or you could even be preemptive and be like, this meeting is supposed to wrap up in about 5 minutes and I don't see how we're going to get there. Do you think that we could set either a new end time or could we set another meeting time so that we can honor this commitment and everybody can feel a little safer? Because violations also make us feel unsafe. Clear expectations make us feel safe. So you wouldn't be just doing yourself a favor. You would be doing the entire group a favor by speaking up when you first feel angry. If you can acknowledge that anger, figure out what the anger is about, and figure out the healthiest way to reset that boundary in a calm way. Now, our brain and our body, they are sending these emotions. They're feeling these emotions, but they don't know what the situation is. They don't know if you're feeling angry because somebody's actually violating your personal body, personal space, and you might need that energy to fight them off and fight for your life, right? Because that's the ultimate violation. So the longer we don't respond in that conscious way, the more the body is going to send adrenaline and send us more energy and actually instigate that emotion even further, trying to get us to act. The body's going to know that the action's taken place when we feel calm again. So if you are in a situation that you find yourself angry and you know that it's actually okay or the agreement's been made, or you're just not wanting to take action for whatever reason at that time, take a few deep breaths for yourself. That's why taking breaths works so well, because it tells the body, hey, whatever you're angry about here, don't keep sending me more adrenaline right now. I don't need it. I'm trying to chill. So that message of belly breathing in the body, that stimulates the relaxation response. So that's telling the body to send the chemicals that let your body know that it's okay. So you don't end up with more energy when you don't want it. Makes sense? So every episode of anger is a violation. Everyone. If you find people angry at you all the time, really important to notice and acknowledge, okay, where am I putting my energy? Where am I taking from them? That's like getting in their field. Like if you're trying to control somebody all the time and they're getting angry at you for that, can you be like, oh, wow, I'm trying to control them all the time. Why am I controlling them? Because I'm mad at them. I'm trying to control them. What is the thing that I actually need space or boundary or thing for? And this is where we might roll into hate a little bit. This is the place that anger and hate can sometimes get tied together. Because hate, which starts when we're like 2, or like little grade school kids being like, he didn't pick me for recess. I hate him. I hate him. And, I was told that hate, it means like you wish somebody were dead, and to never say it. It's so wrong and cruel. But it's really not. We're scared of it because it comes from our deep, deep belly. So anger comes from our solar plexus. Hate comes from like our navel. And our roots, the grounded is like the first chakra kind of there when we're working with the energy body. So hate comes from this really earthy base. So it's really powerful. When we feel stuff up here or we think stuff up here, oftentimes it doesn't impact so much because it's kind of in our heads. But when things come from deep in our body where we get closer to like our roots and our connection to the earth, then things get more powerful. So hate is a really powerful thing that we usually feel its impact. But all hate is, it doesn't have to include anger. Sometimes it includes anger. Sometimes we hate something because there's a violation and a preference. But hate is really just the energy of a really, really, really strong preference. So I hate him. I hate him. Why? Because I wanted him to pick me, right? I really wanted something to happen that didn't happen, and I am in hate. I am in aversion to what's actually going on right now. That part, when we get into hate, it just needs somebody to wrap their arms around us and say, it's okay. He still loves you. He just did something different. It had nothing to do with you. You are still wonderful. But that feeling of like, I might not be adequate, and thinking that that's the reason why things are falling apart around us or not going our way, thinking that it has something to do with our worth, that's usually what stimulates hate. So if you're an adult who's working with a lot of hate in your system, then you really want to go back to your little kid and just be like, and I know most of the people who are like working that hate have so many defenses that'd be like, what? My little kid, what are you talking about? But there is this place that hate just mostly longs for compassion and mostly longs to know that it's okay and it's still loved, even if things are not going on the way that they want them to. That the things that are happening out there don't have to do with them. But there might be those places, if there's anger, if there's like a violation attached, that hate gives us even more energy, so we could follow through. We can make real change in this world with the energy of hate and anger. But we can make real positive change when we acknowledge the roots of that and we come from a loving place and a place of seeking to bring balance and equilibrium and harmony, rather than forcing our will and our desires on the world around us or repressing our will and our desires. So there's that place where, there's this self that both of those emotions are, calling us to look at and to protect. But there's also that place of, okay, what's the highest action here that can possibly be taken? So if you have somebody coming at you with hate, you don't need to take that personally at all, but you can see that part of them that's suffering so much, that believes that if you don't act a certain way that they aren't loved. So go ahead and just send them so much love. No matter what they do, no matter how awful they are, can you send them love? Can you find that in yourself? Because you'll receive whatever love you send too. So I know that that's asking the highest level, and maybe just that little baby step towards that is something. Maybe just being like, you know what, okay, you can hate me. I'm not going to hate you back today. Maybe that's That's the baby step or whatever. Or I'm not going to give your hate more energy right now. Maybe that's that baby step. But, or our hate more energy right now. We want to give it love. We want to give that need love. So these are really complicated things. You can't have a relationship without these feelings showing up on subtle levels. And really healthy relationships is a space that allows you to express these subtleties when they first show up. When we can be really honest, wow, I'm angry, why am I angry? We have to have that self-reflection first. But when we can have that reflection, we can really create healthy dynamics. And most of these feelings show up because there's some unhealthy dynamic. There's some element of control or expectations that are being like walked over and not met and not really taken the time to be seen and corrected. So anger will make you the wisest person if you pay attention and don't repress it at that first glimpse. There's so much in there. And hate will make you a powerful person when you can use that energy to really go after your desires and your preferences, but know that maybe that thing of wanting to be picked is something that's important to you. And maybe rather than hate the thing that didn't pick you, maybe creating some more value, figuring out how to become more valuable within yourself so that you will be picked next time. Following that desire and taking the most amount of action that you can do to fill that desire, not in that instance that already happened, but in the future. So let's in relationships, let's in life use that anger and hate from their get-go to move us into better and better places and a better way of being with ourselves and with each other. That is my hope for you. That is my hope for the world. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have questions about this, feel free to message me. I love exploring all of these topics super well, and absolutely subscribe if this is helpful and you want to hear more things that aren't usually taught. That is what I have done. I have learned about all the stuff that we haven't been taught, that we really should, like how to work with ourselves. So anyways, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.